Hello, my name is Bear Reel, and I am the Director of Plant Biology as well as a Certified Herbalist here at CW Hemp. So a lot of you know already that some of the wonderful benefits of consuming our dietary supplement, this beautiful hemp oil that our company creates. But today we're actually going to make something topical. So as well as digesting it, you can also apply it to a lot of your skin ailments in a topical fashion. And so today we're actually going to make a really nice soothing skin salve with our bottle of Everyday. Or if you want it extra strength, we can use Everyday Plus. So the recipe, which will be posted on our blog, is relatively simple. I am going to incorporate a few other herbs just because why not? They're fun and it'll help with the synergy as well as the efficaciousness. And so this recipe is pretty loose. You can use almost any of your favorite herbs. Of course, if you're not certain, contact an herbalist in your area and they can help you out with more of the choices specific to your own needs. So the recipe that we're going to make today is going to be using plantain leaf, calendula flower, lemon balm, and lavender. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to measure out our dried herbs. So in salve, I like to use dried herbs just so that all of the water is already evaporated. So that way we have a really nice, good and strong oil extraction that we'll base our salve on. So first we're going to start with plantain leaf. So Plantago major, or Plantago major. Wonderful. Plantago major is pretty common to a lot of places in North America. It's a really low-growing weed in a lot of cases, but it's really great at drawing toxins out of skin, especially when used fresh and applied. But of course today we're going to use dried. It's also antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory. It's really great for stings, bites, burns, scalds. It's really wonderful, like healing the skin. So we're going to use 1.25 ounces. I'm just going to measure out 1 cup in case you don't have a scale at home. I'm going to put that in our bowl. And calendula flower, also called pot marigold, Calendula officinalis. It really is good at helping heal and break up scar tissue when it becomes hard. It really is good at penetrating that wound and making it soft again so it can really regenerate the tissue. It's just wonderful for the skin. I love it too. So we're going to use 2 cups of this. I'm going to pour those into our bowl. And next we're going to use dried lemon balm leaf. Also wonderful and fantastic. It's really great at healing eruptive conditions of the skin, like shingles, herpes, things like that really kind of erupt. Lemon balm is really wonderful and soothing. It's great at just easing the stress emotionally, physically, as well as oxidatively. It's also a really nice anti-inflammatory. So we're going to add 1/2 cup of that, or 1/2 ounce. Okay, and the last thing I'd really like to add is just a bit of lavender flower. It smells wonderful. It's gonna add such a nice fragrance to our salve, as well as it's also good at stimulating the circulation around, healing tissue, varicose veins, scratches, bumps, bruises, things like that. So we're gonna add a 1/4 ounce of that, or a 1/4 cup, as it turns out, of our beautiful flowers. So now we just have this lovely blend of herbs that we're gonna use. Isn't that pretty? Our glass dish, and you can use any baking dish that you like. We're gonna put in our dried herbs. Okay, into the nice glass pan. And now we're gonna take our oil. Pardon my reach here. Okay, so I'm using almond oil today, but you can use a variety of oils. You can use olive oil, sunflower oil. I really like almond oil because it's really good for all skin types. And today we're going to use about 3 to 3.5 cups of oil, just enough to cover all of the dried herbs. Oops. Beautiful. All right. Now I poured it into a glass dish because if you don't have a crock pot at home, you can just put it in the oven. Or if you're using a crock pot, just put your crock pot on low and then you'd put the herbs directly in the crock pot. But since I wanted to show you what it looked like in a pan, we're gonna put it in the oven on the lowest setting possible. So if your oven goes to 140, put it on 140. If your oven goes to 170, put it on 170. Whatever the lowest setting is possible, go ahead and put it on that. And we're gonna really lightly heat it for about 4 hours, anywhere between 3 and 5, whatever your time allows. Or you can put it in the crock pot. It's an easy way to do it, so make sure you don't burn it for about 4 hours. And then we're gonna come back and put our CW hemp extract in it. Okay, so it's been 4 hours and we have our beautiful oil infusion here where we've taken some dried herbs, poured in some oil, and extracted all those beautiful components of the herbs into the oil. It smells wonderful. All right, so now we're gonna have to strain the dried plant material out of the oil. At least I like to. So you can let it cool down for a little bit, just don't burn yourself. So I have some cheesecloth here into a strainer. We're just gonna pour that in there. Now I have this beautiful, rich, golden green oil. And this is the fun step. We're gonna add our bottle of CW. Okay, and I'm gonna add the whole bottle. Okay. The next 2 ingredients are optional, but I like to add them. I like to add some drops of vitamin E oil, also really wonderful for the skin, and it also helps preserve the integrity of the salve. So I'm just gonna add a little bit, 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon. Nice. I'm also gonna add a few drops of essential oil. I think it's just a really nice fragrance to add, as well as all those beneficial properties of essential oils like antimicrobial, antiviral. Okay. I'm adding lavender today, but you can add whatever your favorite is. Again, contact your healthcare provider if you're unsure which ones to use. Okay, so now we have our oils here with all of their wonderful properties. I'm gonna give that one last stir. And what makes an herbal oil a salve is just adding some beeswax. So I find it's a little easier to mix the two when the beeswax is already melted, which you can do over a double boiler, but it's not necessary. You can just add it straight to the oil, but you might have to reheat the oil a bit so it melts. I'm just gonna add that right in there. Okay, so we have our beautiful oil and our beeswax, and now we're ready to pour our salve. So if you find that your beeswax is having trouble melting into your oil, all you have to do is put your oil back on the stove at low heat for just a few minutes, and it'll incorporate really nicely. Okay, so we have our infusion with our herbs. We have our CW Everyday or Everyday Plus for extra strength. We have our essential oils, beeswax, little vitamin E oil. Let's pour our salve. So there we go, and that's all there is to it. And now we just have to let it cool down. So it's liquid right now, so we can pour it. But as it cools down, it'll harden, and we'll be able to use it for any of our skin ailments that we happen to have around. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you enjoy your new self.